1850, and he told me what had since happened to him. This will interest you, Alexander, being a lawyer. Oliver had been assigned as attorney for the prosecution in a trial.
You have heard the evidence, my fellow citizens, and I am confident that you will see justice done. Our society cannot exist on lawlessness, on dishonesty, on fraud. When a law is broken, a penalty must be paid. Gentlemen, the prosecution rests.
May it please the court and the gentlemen of the jury, we have just listened to a statement by one Oliver Cowdery. He's told us a great deal about honesty. It's very interesting. Very interesting indeed to discover that this same Oliver Cowdery was a party to one of the greatest frauds ever perpetrated upon the American people.
Your Honor, I object. This is entirely irrelevant.
On the contrary, it is quite relevant. As the prosecution is so roundly condemning the dishonesty, the criminal act of the defendant, has not the jury the right to know the character of the one seeking judgment?
Your Honor, I object.
Objection overruled.
Look, the Mormon Bible, one of the greatest hoaxes the world has known. And in it, swearing that the book is true, is the signature of the man sitting before this court, Oliver Cowdery. This is the man who has testified and written that he beheld an angel of God, and that the angel showed him the plates from which the Book of Mormon was translated.
Let's have some quiet here. Quiet! Well, now, it's quite possible there could be more than one Oliver Cowdery, you know.
Then surely he'll want to clear this up.
Cowdery?
May I? We declare with words of soberness that an angel of God came down from heaven and laid before our eyes the plates and the engravings thereon. The voice of the Lord commanded that we should bear record of it. Wherefore we bear testimony of these things. I am that Oliver Cowdery. Whatever my faults and weaknesses might be, this testimony which I have written and given to the world is literally true. What I have there said that I saw, I know that I saw.
Even at the expense of ridicule, Oliver could not deny what he knew to be true. And then, after 10 years of being apart from the church, he decided to return. Oliver and his family arrived at Council Bluffs as the Mormons were preparing to go west. A conference of the church was in progress, and Orson Hyde was presiding.
We must walk in the true channel if we are to avoid the sandbars. Each and every one of us must... Excuse me 1 minute, brothers and sisters. Oliver.
Hi.
Sister Cowdery, won't you be seated? Come up on the stand with me, Oliver.
That's Oliver Cowdery.
Oliver Cowdery. My dear brothers and sisters, we are honored today at the sudden arrival of one who is known to many of you, I'm sure, and who will now address us. Brother Oliver Cowdery.
Thank you, Brother Hyde. Friends and brethren, as you have heard, my name is Oliver Cowdery. In the early history of this church, I stood in her councils, not because I was better than other men, but to fulfill the purposes of God. He called me to a high and holy calling. I lost that calling. For a number of years, I have been separated from you. Now, humbly, I desire to come back. I seek no station. I wish only to be identified with you. I wish to come in at the door. I know the door. I was the first man to be baptized by authority in this dispensation. And now I ask to be baptized again. I wrote with my own pen the entire Book of Mormon, save a few pages, as it fell from the lips of the prophet Joseph, as he translated it by the gift and power of God. I beheld with my eyes and handled with my hands the gold plates from which it was transcribed. I saw the glorious messenger who showed us these plates, and I heard the voice of the Lord declare that the work was true. I was present with Joseph when the holy priesthood was restored to this earth. That priesthood was conferred upon me, and I held it as a servant of God. I laid my hands upon that man's head. Yes, I laid my hands upon Brother Orson Hyde and conferred on him the priesthood. And he holds that priesthood now. I come to him, to all of you, asking to be restored to the body of the church. My brothers and sisters, I have a testimony of this work that I have never denied, though the world has caused me to suffer because of it. I know that Joseph Smith was a prophet of God. To the end of his life, he was true to that calling.
Oliver planned to go west with the church, but while he was here in Richmond visiting with me, he was taken ill and died. His final words to me were a plea that I would be true to my testimony of the Book of Mormon. Oliver died a happy man, the happiest I ever saw. I'm the only one of the three left in this life. To their last breaths, the others were true to the calling we received from the Lord, and so will I be. No force on earth can make me deny what I know. Thank you again.
David, I'd hate to be the lawyer assigned to challenge what you have told me.
David Whitmer did get his signatures. 22 of the most prominent men in the area signed in defense of his character. When David Whitmer, the last of the three witnesses, died in January of 1888, one of the Richmond newspapers reviewed his connection with the coming forth of the Book of Mormon and concluded, "Skeptics may laugh and scoff if they will, but no man could listen to Mr. Whitmer as he talked of his interview with the angel of the Lord without being most forcibly convinced that he has heard an honest man tell what he honestly believes to be true."